Everyone saw Terence Crawford interrupt the press conference, snatch the mic, and publicly tell Teofimo Lopez that he was going to get picked apart by Shakur Stevenson. To the casual fan, it looked like supreme confidence, the pound-for-pound king stepping in to defend his little brother. But insiders are telling a completely different story, and it's one that has sent legitimate shockwaves through Shakur's entire camp.
At first glance, for me, it seemed like this was not going to be a very good fight, that it was a fight that had a real chance to be a snoozer because of the way both of these guys fight. But during my live stream, I got some information. I won't say information inside because it was on a live stream about Teofimo Lopez that I found very interesting and may make the fight a lot more exciting, because there's two things about Teofimo Lopez that Shakur Stevenson really has to worry about.
According to sources close to the situation, the mood behind closed doors shifted dramatically the moment Crawford laid eyes on leaked footage of Teofimo's private sparring sessions. Reports suggest Crawford was left absolutely speechless, staring at the screen and allegedly telling his team, "I've never seen him look this scary." While the public sees a confident mentor, the reality is that Crawford might be genuinely terrified that Shakur is walking into a trap against a version of Teofimo Lopez that nobody, not even the odds makers, saw coming. The turning point wasn't a press conference or a tweet. It happened in the gym, away from the cameras. Sources claim Crawford got his hands on recent training footage of Teofimo, expecting to see the same erratic fighter who struggled in his last few bouts. Instead, what he saw reportedly had him rewinding the video over and over again, analyzing the mechanics in silence.
Tim Bradley said that he feels like Shakur Stevenson can hurt you. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily with power, but by frustrating you, controlling the distance, nullifying your offense, just making you look bad. He said that he feels like Shakur has superior boxing IQ compared to you.
That's cool. That's his opinion. That's cool. Everybody has an opinion like an asshole. You know? So,
I swear I wish I could be like you. I swear I wish I could be like you too.
What's that?
Just be like, they say whatever, it's fine. I'd be like, say what?
He also said don't run from Shakur.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I put on boxing shoes, not track shoes. Mm-hmm. so yeah, just I'm excited for it all.
One insider allegedly revealed that Bud kept shaking his head, muttering that Teofimo's hand speed was stupid fast. We aren't just talking about quick hands. Crawford reportedly noted that Teofimo is moving with the speed of a lightweight but carrying the heavy thudding power of a welterweight. The concern isn't just physical, it's the realization that Teofimo isn't preparing for a boxing match, he's preparing for an execution. Crawford allegedly pulled Shakur aside immediately after watching the tape and gave him a stark reality check. This dude is a beast right now. If we don't match this energy, this could get ugly fast. This private panic puts the now famous press conference moment in a completely new light. When Teofimo crashed Crawford's presser, things got heated. You had Teofimo getting in Shakur's face, trying to trigger an emotional reaction. Crawford stepped in, warning Teo that mind games wouldn't work. But looking back, analysts now believe Crawford wasn't just talking trash. He was running interference.
Teofimo Lopez is a bit of an enigma when you see him in a boxing ring. He is somebody that is very, very athletic, somebody that is very, very highly skilled, but his mindset is not always as consistent as you would want it to be. And his performances are not as consistent as you would want them to be. When he fought against Vasily Lomachenko, he looked like a very tremendous fighter against Vasily Lomachenko. I think he won that fight, looked very good, all of the above. But then you see him come back against George Kambosos, and it's like a totally different fighter. He winds up getting beat by George Kambosos, goes up to 140 pounds. Then he gets a shot with Josh Taylor, who was a former undisputed champion, but really still considered the man at that division. And then he goes about completely dominating and outclassing Josh Taylor, who many people believe was a pound-for-pound top fighter. But then he comes back and he fights guys like Jermaine Ortiz and he fights guys like Sandor Martin. And they just look like fights that he underwhelmed, and he fought to the level of his competition. So with Teofimo Lopez, that's what I always worry about. And don't worry about his talent or his skill or his ability. I always wonder whether or not what level he's going to fight at, and whether it's just going to be right about the level of the guy he's fighting. And as a result, the fight's going to be close.
Crawford knows better than anyone that an emotional Shakur is a vulnerable Shakur. By stepping in, he wasn't just being a protective friend. He was desperately trying to keep Shakur focused. He knows that if Teofimo can drag Shakur into a brawl, that stupid fast power he saw on the tapes will end the night early. Crawford's intervention wasn't about disrespecting Teofimo. It was about preventing Shakur from falling into the exact psychological trap Teofimo has set for him.
I was told about the advantages that Teofimo Lopez has in this particular fight is that Teofimo Lopez, really is somebody that is unique in the fact that he likes to fight southpaws, likes to fight guys that have an opposite angle of what you usually get. And look back to the fight that he had with one of the best fight that he had in his career was with a southpaw in Vasily Lomachenko. And so you have to know that he can fight at the level of Vasily Lomachenko at the southpaw, in the southpaw stance. You have to say, okay, well, man, what is that going to mean for the Shakur Stevenson fight? Not that Shakur Stevenson and Vasily Lomachenko fight a lot at all, alike at all. They do not fight alike at all, but still the angles and the common problems that are caused by southpaws exist when you fight Vasily Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson. Also, Teofimo Lopez showed that on his big fight night that he was able to show up on his big fight night, right? So you look at the difference between the Teofimo Lopez fight with George Kambosos. He might have felt like, hey, this is a walk in the park. His ego is flying and his mind isn't really there, really not prepared for the fight, right? And same thing with the other guys that I mentioned, like Jermaine Ortiz and Sandor Martin. But when he got his opportunities, in the big opportunities, he buckled down and he focused against Josh Taylor, who, by the way, also fights out of the southpaw stance, and Vasily Lomachenko. So we'll see whether or not he's able to do that again with Shakur. The problem that Shakur has had some big fights when he always showed up in his fights, man. Always showed up in his fights. I think Shakur is somebody that really does react in large parts to what other fighters are doing, but still, he's somebody that will absolutely stay in front of you and take the lead and still press on you.
The specific details of what Crawford saw on those tapes are terrifying for anyone betting on a boring decision win. It wasn't just speed. Crawford allegedly compared Teofimo's current form to a baby Roy Jones. That is not a comparison you throw around lightly in boxing. It implies a level of athleticism, reflex, and unorthodox explosiveness that you simply cannot train for. The footage reportedly shows Teofimo moving laterally with a fluidity we haven't seen since the Lomachenko fight, but with added muscle mass. He's slipping punches by millimeters and countering with 3-punch combinations before his sparring partners can even reset. Crawford, who has a high boxing IQ, spotted the danger immediately. Teofimo isn't looking for one big punch. He's conditioned himself to go to war for 12 hard rounds. He's ready to chase Shakur down for 36 minutes without gasping for air, and that level of pressure is something Shakur has arguably never faced in his professional career.
No, I don't think none of these dudes is on my level when I'm at my best, so he got a lot to deal with come January 31st.
So without giving up too much, when you look at him as a professional and you see what he's done, the fights he's fought, his style, what is it about him that you are going to exploit?
I think he the truth. He do a lot of things well. I think he flashy. I think it's just some basic stuff. Where I feel like he make mistakes. And I think I'm gonna capitalize off those mistakes.
What is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like He like a baby Roy. Like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy. I thought it was cool, so it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Because of this, the atmosphere in Shakur's training camp has reportedly shifted from confident to military-grade intensity. Crawford isn't just showing up to offer moral support, he has taken over the reins. Sources say Bud has been handpicking sparring partners who specifically mimic Teofimo's chaotic, explosive style. He's bringing in guys who hit hard and don't respect Shakur's power, forcing Shakur to fight off his back foot under extreme duress.
So depending on how Shakur walks around, what he does on his regular basis as far as conditioning, weightlifting, what he does dieting-wise, it all can play a factor. So for me, because of how he is and who he's surrounded by, I'm going to say that I feel as though Shakur is actually going to be a lot stronger than what he was in other weight classes.
Do you think that will be able to translate into stronger punches? Because I know people always criticize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Shakur can punch. I just think that he's not really much of a combination type of guy. One punch, two punch combination, three punch combination, get out of there. You know, where Teo's gonna do he can punch from weird angles. Teo can punch from like very, very strange angles, and he also too has the IQ, but it's like he's more of an explosive side. So that's what I'm saying. It can hurt Shakur being the 5 pounds heavier, but it can also benefit him very, very well as well.
They aren't just training the body either. Rumor has it that Crawford and Shakur have watched the Teofimo versus Lomachenko fight at least 50 times. They are dissecting every twitch, every feint, and every tendency. Crawford is obsessed with finding a crack in the armor because he knows that the hungry Teo is a different animal. This isn't a mentorship anymore. It's a rescue mission to ensure Shakur survives the storm that is coming on January 31st.
I think Teo is offensively explosive, and he definitely has the athleticism edge over Shakur. Now, I think Shakur's defense is high caliber, and his IQ is also high caliber. So it's a really good matchup because it's kind of like Teo brings he can either, depending how he fights Shakur, he can either make it a tough night or he can make it an easy night for Shakur. Mm-hmm. Same thing goes for Shakur. Shakur can try to stay on the ropes the whole time, or he can utilize his legs and box circles around Teo. We don't know, but definitely with the athleticism edge, I'm going to give it slightly over to Teo. But you know, not saying that Teo doesn't have a good IQ. I just think Shakur's IQ is very like, I know people know that he's a smart fighter, right? But I think that when we talk about fighters throughout these eras, he's not really mentioned in these things because of the opposition who he has faced. But he does have some great IQ, and from a coach's standpoint, I get to see how he does certain things, why he does certain things. I'm like, that's smart, you know, and he capitalizes. He got good range control, so it's going to be interesting for sure.
The biggest variable here is Teofimo's mental state. We all know Teofimo has had his cuckoo moments, mental lapses where he seems distracted or overconfident. But Crawford allegedly told Shakur's team that those days are gone. The fighter he saw on tape is dialed in. This is the version of Teofimo who shocked the world against Lomachenko, not the one who struggled against Sandor Martin. Crawford allegedly warned the team that Teofimo is training like his life depends on it. There is a hunger in his eyes that suggests he feels disrespected by the odds and the critics. When a fighter with Teofimo's natural gifts gets that chip on his shoulder, he becomes the most dangerous man in the division. Crawford knows that hungry Teo doesn't just want to win, he wants to hurt Shakur to prove a point, and that makes him unpredictable and lethal.
But a lot, because I grew in the ring with Bud over the years. I remember my first time sparring him, he played with me. That was my first time being in the ring with somebody, and they had their way with me, and they did whatever they want. And then over the years, I just kept coming back. And every time I see them, like, yo, we sparring, like every time. That's why you'll see so many pictures and videos of me and Bud in the ring, because it's like I just wanted to keep pushing myself with a guy that I know is the truth. And as we got older, my level has gotten a lot better from being in the ring with Bud.
But there is a darker, more Machiavellian theory floating around the boxing world. Is it possible that Crawford is so involved in this camp because he's scouting Teofimo for himself? Teofimo has been vocal about his plan: beat Shakur, then move up to face Crawford. He's even used Crawford's own logic against him, saying that if Bud can jump 3 weight classes for Canelo, Teo can certainly jump up for Bud.
Terence Crawford's crazy in a really good way and very honest. And I think I'm going to say a prayer sometime today that Terence Crawford gets a fight with Teofimo Lopez, because I would pay $200, at least $200 for a pay-per-view between the two of them, to see Terence Crawford whoop the tar out of him. Because, man, what Terence Crawford told Teofimo Lopez about, man, you don't know, because you a boxer, like that some people don't really want to play, and you out here being playful, and I'm not a playful person. Man, that is so true. That is so real.
By training Shakur, Crawford gets a front row seat to see exactly how Teofimo handles speed, pressure, and technical boxing. He gets to see Teofimo's adjustments in real time without taking a single punch himself. It's a genius move, using his brother as a litmus test to see if Teofimo is truly on his level. If Shakur gets destroyed, Crawford knows exactly what to avoid. If Shakur wins, Crawford knows Teofimo was never a threat. It's 4D chess, and Crawford is playing the board perfectly.
This story, I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. I was in the gym. I want to say I was getting ready for Chris Diaz or something, and he was sparring like a heavyweight fighter. I'm looking, I'm type nervous for him. I'm like, why is he in the ring with this big old dude? And man, I swear he done caught this dude on the shin. Boom, dude, wobbling all around the ring. I'm like, what the f***? How is this dude this strong? But it's like, honestly, Bud is very strong. A lot of people don't realize how strong he is as a fighter, and his punching power could carry through the weight classes.
So, is Terence Crawford actually terrified? The evidence suggests that while he publicly backs his friend, his private actions show deep concern. He's seen the tapes. He's seen the speed. He knows that Teofimo Lopez has transformed into a monster for this fight. Come January 31st, we are going to find out if Crawford's anxiety was a premonition or just high-level preparation. One thing is certain: the version of Teofimo Lopez showing up to Madison Square Garden is not the one Shakur signed up to fight. This isn't just a boxing match anymore. It's a collision course, and Crawford is doing everything in his power to stop the crash. The question is, will it be enough? So what do you think about Teofimo's preparations for the biggest fight of his career? Do you think he'll break through Shakur's defense in the ring on fight night? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.